What's up, folks? How y'all doing? So I just got a new mic, so we're gonna see how the quality of today's video is. It should be better than every single other video. So yeah, let's get right into it. Today we're gonna be watching uh, 5 of the creepiest unsolved mysteries. So let's get into it.
Kevin Wynn, who was 25 at the time, went missing in the early hours of December 9th, 2018. His family said he was kicked out of a bar called the Brass Rail on Broadway after an altercation, and that's the last they've seen or heard from him. Family, friends, and strangers have been hoping to find him or hear from him ever since. The following Sunday, nearly 150 volunteers and family members gathered at Lakeside Park to continue the search. The family searched the banks of the St. Joseph and St. Mary's rivers, and also the area around the Brass Rail. The following Thursday, they found his glasses broken in the parking lot of the bar. Kevin's family stated that his vision was very bad, and the fact that his glasses were broken and left behind was a very bad sign, and there's no way he'd be able to make his way around without seeing. Management at the bar told the family that Kevin had entered the bar 4 times the night he went missing. There's an Arby's down the road from the bar that had given the family 2 videos. They show Kevin walking by the restaurant alone, one around 1:40 in the morning, the other around 2:45 in the morning. The Brass Rail has given.
It didn't look like he had his glasses on. It looked like he was walking perfectly fine. He was seeing stuff without his glasses on. That's what it looked like to me.
Their surveillance video to detectives, but after 2 long
They were talking like he couldn't see at all without his glasses. Like,
years with no word, the family has become less hopeful. Many people believe he had broken his glasses and without his vision simply stumbled into the river and drowned. But if this were the case, the body would have been found during the multiple searches of the river, or at the very least, the body would have been washed up somewhere by now. In 2002, Michaela Lawrence, who was 12 at the time, and her entire family received news that her father had been in a fatal car accident. His body was barely recognizable from the wreck. The family, of course, opted for a closed casket funeral. A few weeks after the funeral, things started appearing in the mailbox of the Lawrence household. Small packages with Michaela's name written on them. The packages would come once every few weeks. The first package was a small knick-knack type item. It was a decorative model glow-up Big Ben clock statue. It was a familiar piece that Michaela's mother recognized from the house somewhere. A few weeks later, another package came. This package contained an old antique stopwatch from the 50s. It didn't work anymore, but once again it looked familiar to Michaela's mother. None of the packages said who they were from or where they came from. A few more weeks
that's
later,
weird.
on Michaela's 13th birthday, a card in an envelope ended up in the mailbox, and written on it was Michaela's name again. The card was a happy birthday card, but once again the mother recognized this card and the handwriting was familiar. It was the handwriting of her thought-to-be-deceased husband, but it was a card that the couple had given to their
I knew it, bro. I knew it. But how you gonna say thought to be? Thought to be?
daughter years ago, and it was signed Love Mom and Dad. This confirmed her suspicions that the items that had been arriving in the mail were possessions from the house, those of her husband's. She tried to check the safe in the bedroom closet to see if anything was missing, but mysteriously the safe combination no longer seemed to work no matter how many times she tried. She tried going to the police about the packages at her house, but police couldn't do anything except advise to install some kind of security system. To this day, it's not known who sent the packages or how whoever sent them got a hold of them.
That's crazy. That's insane.
Frauke Liebs disappeared on June 20th, 2006 from the town Paderborn in Germany. Her body was found almost 4 months later, on October 4th, 2006. The circumstances of her disappearance are mysterious, especially since she's believed to have made contact with her friends between her disappearance and her death. 2006 was the year of the Football World Cup in Germany. Frauke met with some friends at the Old Triangle Irish pub in downtown Paderborn to watch some of the games. Her mom dropped her off at the pub around 9 p.m. During the Sweden-England match, she exchanged text messages with an acquaintance until the battery of her cell phone ran out. She then borrowed the battery of her friend, but the friend said that she returned the battery before leaving. At about 11 p.m., Frauke left the bar. It's assumed that she walked home because she was said to only have about €5 on her at that point. Her flat was about 1 mile away from the pub. Nobody knows which path she took because nobody saw her after she left the pub. Her flatmate Chris claimed that she never arrived in the flat. At 12:49 a.m., her roommate received a text from Frauke, which stated that she'd be back late. She did not appear at work the following day, and after she was not in the apartment, Frauke's mother reported her missing. Over the next few days, Frauke contacted her roommate 5 times over cell phone. The calls were usually short and during the evening hours, and did not contain a lot of information about her situation. In the first calls, she hinted that she would come back soon, but answered further questions evasively or mysteriously. The last phone call was received on the evening of June 27th, while Frauke's sister was present. Frauke got asked by her sister if she was held against her will, and she supposedly said yes, but then immediately corrected herself by saying no in a louder tone. After that, the contact of Frauke was lost. According to police, during these phone calls, Frauke's cell phone was in various industrial zones of Paderborn. The police also assumed that the calls were placed from within a car that was driven to those areas. The case was never solved.
That's crazy. Ah, that's crazy. So they found her dead body? Or did they not? 'Cause they didn't. She's out of here. She went to a different state, different country, bro. Whatever, bro. Ah, trafficking. I bet it was trafficking. I bet it was.
Jack Wheeler held many important positions throughout his lifetime.
I just solved that case. I should be a detective. Come on now.
He was a
Probably
chairman for
not.
the Vietnam Veterans Memorial
Nope.
Fund, a senior planner for Amtrak, an official of the Securities and Exchange Commission, and more. His value to his community made it much worse when Jack disappeared on December 28, 2010, after exiting an Amtrak near Wilmington, Delaware. He was later seen on December 30th at 10th and Orange Street in Wilmington. On December 31st, his body was discovered by a landfill worker as it fell onto a trash heap in the Cherry Island landfill. His death was later ruled a homicide. His death was ruled to be due to assault and blunt force trauma. It was determined that all the stops the garbage truck had made that day involved large commercial disposal bins in Newark, a few miles from Jack's home. Prior to Jack's death, he was cited several times. On December 29th, he was cited at the Newcastle County Courthouse parking garage. He was disoriented and wearing only one shoe. He tried to gain access to the garage on foot, claiming that he wanted to warm up before paying the parking fee. He told the attendant that his briefcase had been stolen, and he kept claiming that he wasn't intoxicated, but the attendant didn't believe him. It was later determined that his car was in a different garage. This was the last CCTV footage taken of him. Later that day, Jack asked a pharmacist in Newcastle for a ride to Wilmington. He reportedly looked upset at the time. The pharmacist offered to call him a cab. He then left the store. On December 30th, he was seen wandering around various office buildings. Several people
appearing distressed. Bro was throwing his hands up and everything.
asked if he needed help, but he refused any assistance. This case has still never been solved.
Refused any assistance. Bro, he did it. Dude, this dude. What? What? No wonder a lot of these cases are unsolved because the other people are too dumb not to freaking say anything, dog. Oh my lord. Like, if you scared for your life, let someone know, bro. Literally, I don't get it, bro. I don't get it. The only one I get in this case is that one girl because, they could have been, they right beside her or something, had her in a vehicle. That's really what I think happened to that one. She got trafficked. That's what I think. And they, would threaten her and stuff like that. But the weird thing is, why do these people let them, make calls and stuff whenever they do that? Like, that just makes it weird to me. So I don't know. I don't know.
Lastly, we have the disappearance of Brian Schaefer. In 2006, Ohio State student Brian Schaefer went into a bar and never came out. He was out with 2 friends one night and they went to a bar called the Ugly Tuna Saloona. This bar had a front main entrance and a back entrance for staff and entertainment, both of which had cameras pointed at them. Around 10 p.m. that night, Brian called his girlfriend to tell her that he loved her. Soon after, Brian is seen on camera entering the bar, and then later seen stepping out of the bar to talk to two girls before going back inside. Minutes before the bar closed and they were preparing to leave, Brian told his friends he was going to talk to the band. Brian walked away out of sight and his friends waited for him, but he was never seen again. This was not a large bar, and the band does not remember talking to him. On top of it, the cameras never caught him exiting the bar. No one knows what happened to Brian after he walked away from his friends, or how he left the bar, or if he ever did for that matter. An FBI agent who was specialized in facial recognition spent a long time analyzing the security footage of the bar and watched every person who came in and out of the venue. He never identified Brian leaving, but years later, after he had stopped working on the case, he was at an Ohio State football game and saw someone across the crowd that he couldn't help but think looked very much like Brian. In fact, he bore such a resemblance to Brian that the agent had to go and talk to him. It turned out it was Brian's brother, proving just how good the agent's facial recognition abilities were. Brian's girlfriend called his cell phone every day for weeks, and it always went straight to voicemail until one night when it actually rang 3 times.
Nah, that actually gave me chills, dog. That gave me chills, bro. Oh, how? Like, oh. How do they never see him leaving, though? Like, that's impossible. Literally impossible. Unless this dude freaking time traveled. But no, that ain't happening, alright? This dude did not time travel. This dude left there somehow, some way. I don't know how. Oh, but he could. But I don't know, man. I don't know.
Then went to voicemail. This was unexplainable. The truly weirdest part about this whole thing is that the last footage of Brian was him re-entering the bar. No footage was ever found of him leaving the bar, which has led to theories that he never did leave. To this day, no one knows where he is.
Yo, that's kind of crazy. What they do, like, I don't know, man. Maybe one of the workers had something against this dude, and like, you know, and then they went put it in the daggone people's food, bro. Like, dude, that's crazy. There's someone that actually did that before. There was a dude that made burgers that used to do that before, actually, and he would use like human meat as his burger meat, bro, and no one knew it for years. Let me know what y'all thought of the videos down in the comments below. And that's one of crazy though. I will say. Like, how do they never get footage of him leaving? That's what I'm wondering about. Cause that's kind of crazy to me. Either he got, something happened. Something happened. I don't know. I guess that's why they're called unsolved mysteries. You never know. Unsolved cases. It kind of baffles me how there can still be unsolved cases in 2020, in 2000s, stuff like that with all the advanced technology that we have nowadays. I feel like there's more unsolved cases nowadays than there was back then, It's just, it's just kind of crazy. But that's going to be it for today's video. Hope y'all enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, do all those things, Appreciate you for watching. Yeah, see you guys next time.